year it's been 2016. I think the whole of football plan has just gone absolutely fantastic for us. Great work across the country from the federations. We're sitting now with record number of players, record number of coaches and record number of referees. So all in all, a fantastic effort by everybody involved in the game.
What it did, just from a team standpoint, there was a real good feeling and a real sense of belief and togetherness going through a tough tournament. Huge expectations on the team. We had a weakened squad, a young squad, didn't have all our best players there, and in difficult conditions. So I think coming out of that, the whole process of that, a real strong sense of togetherness was built, stronger than it had before. And then obviously on top of that, obviously going into a tournament like the Confederations Cup, straight away there's a huge amount of extra motivation for the players. There's a real good feel-good factor around the place about what we've got coming up. And then to come in and play away from home and play really, really well, and not only could we have got a draw, but we could have actually beaten them on the night. But in the change rooms afterwards, it was a strange feeling of real sort of pride, and we've played so well, but also, hang on a minute, there was disappointment there, because we knew if we'd have had a little bit more belief in ourselves, then we could have got more from the game. And I think it was a real eye-opener for us. And then that sort of carried on to the USA tour, the USA game. And I think the big change from the Mexico to the USA game was we had a real strong, aggressive performance against Mexico. Positive. But the USA, we got the same, but we played more football. And the tour we come off after the USA game, we really had belief in how we were trying to play with the ball as well. So overall, it was a real positive tour. These games are about mentality, and to finish it off with 4 points, 2 clean sheets, solid performances against arguably, I would say, certainly the best team I've seen of all the island teams. New Caledonia, a very strong team. So it was a really good way to finish off the year. And as I say, we sort of get back on our run again of clean sheets and being consistent.
Yeah, playing against the reigning champs first game, we thought we gave a good account. The sloppy goal at the beginning of the second half really cost us in that game, but we came out of there, with credible performance, and then getting our second ever win at Olympic Games with the win against Colombia was fantastic for us as well. And it was a close game, and one that we thought we deserved to win. And it just meant we went into the last game with our fate in our own hands. And unfortunately, we came across a fantastic team in France, and we needed to get a draw out of the game, and we threw everything at them. But unfortunately, we were a little bit too good on the day. But some great learnings, and again, we come away from a tournament with our heads held high and knowing that we can compete with the best teams in the world.
Look, I think it's very significant. There's an opportunity there to engage positively with all of our clubs and through the high schools across multiple sports. So there's an opportunity to get out and do something good for our people. It's a really good one. If we can do injury prevention well, we could reliably look at reducing the risk of injury by about 50%. And so if you look at significant injuries like tearing your ACL in the knee, there's a massive reduction in social costs, but also a massive reduction in financial costs. So I think it's a real good news story. Well, in a New Zealand context, AEDs have already saved lives. So at Western Springs, we've had a player whose life was saved because his mates knew what to do, and we'd like to replicate that across the country. We know from a survey that we've done that only about 9% of our clubs at the moment have AEDs, which compares to about 80% in other countries in the world. So being able to give away 200 AEDs is going to make a really big difference there, and being able to access funded AEDs through New Zealand football should help those other clubs with that.
Since 2010 and the implementation of the whole of football plan, the women's side of the game has grown at least by 30%. And those numbers are predominantly within the junior space, and the junior space is where we're really focusing on for the next few years to continue that growth. With the help of FIFA, we've been able to reach over 9,000 young girls as well as women to give them a taste of football. We run close to nearly 100 or so festivals, both futsal and football. and it's all around increasing awareness, increasing visibility of the women's game.
Which validates the programs and the work that's been done in the federations in terms of training and develop them, and also in New Zealand football in terms of our strategy about taking people from council grounds to FIFA Stadium. It just continues that process, and it's a really tremendous achievement from the guys and girls in the program.
We haven't had that many wins age group international World Cups. We haven't had many in the past, so to get one, a great one against Ghana, who went on and had a good World Cup and drew of America, and then obviously beating Jordan as well. It's just good because we want our players getting experience on the world stage at World Cups, but we want that to be winning experience as much as we can, so they get into that habit of winning and get used to winning on the world stage. So when those players do make the ferns, hopefully can just continue that momentum in the senior environment.
Having those role models for young girls and women to look up to and encourage them to continue within their footballing pathway is really key, especially in the girls and women participation. Having role models not just as players but as coaches, referees, administrators, is all helping grow the game.
We had the unique opportunity where we had 4 Northern football teams taking part on the day. Obviously Birkenhead United taking on Waitakere City in the Chatham Cup, and Forest Hill Milford taking on Glenfield Rovers in the Women's Knockout Cup. All 4 clubs were really supportive in the lead-in. We had great engagement with all their members, and over 4,000 people come out to witness the day.
It was the continuation of the OFC and NZF A licence. It was the second one that we ran within a space of 12 months and hadn't been run previously. So the fact that we're able to get that going with cumulatively 48 coaches from New Zealand and overseas was a massive plus, and built on our relationship with OFC and the education department there.
11th most participated sport now, secondary schools, just behind cricket. Phenomenal, and pushing forward year on year. 314% growth across the last 5 years, and that's something we should be very proud of for that system we've built for futsal in the school space. The live stream numbers continue to grow, close to 1 million minutes viewed across the year, across all the competitions we run. The large audience we've got, which is mainly in that sort of teenage to 24-year-old space, which is our target market where we're trying to grow the game. Again, it's all great figures, just seeing that the game continue to grow.
The start to the 2016-2017 Sterling Sports Premiership was really exciting. We'd gone through quite a big process before we got to the start, where we had added 3 new teams to the competition, expanded from 8 teams into 10. We welcomed Tasman United, Eastern Suburbs and Hamilton Wanderers replaced out the Waikato Bay of Plenty United team. So a lot of excitement leading into the start of the season, and it didn't disappoint. We had probably one of the most competitive competitions we've had for a number of years. We were, I think, about 6 points separating top and bottom right through into the latter stages of the competition.
It's testament to the strength of the team that we've built over the last 3 years that we can see quality like Rob Sherman leave the business for personal reasons, but with our support, and the business continue, and then we can attract talent like Andreas into the business. And Andreas will bring a completely different dimension to what we do. It'll evolve the business in a great way. So I think we've got a very strong team. We've got a lot of talent working at headquarters, but also in the federations. I think the last 3 years we've seen them come on leaps and bounds. Great CEOs, great boards, and the talent in the feds now is getting very, very strong.